Let's stay on the issue of security in this area, in the Bulsa North constituency. For a while, I'm joined on the line by parliamentary candidate for that area, for the NDC, James Agalga. We did try to reach out to the MPP's James Maurice Abakisi, but we're unable to reach him. And we've been calling him. As and when we reach him, we will speak to him. But Mr. Agalga is on the line with us. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Agalga. So what could be the reasons behind these armed robbery attacks that we're seeing? Because we understand that there were similar robberies last year in broad daylight.
Well, Araba, first of all, we would have to understand that the police in Sandema are not visible at all. And the lack of police visibility and accessibility, in my estimation, is probably the cause of the upsurge in the commission of crime in the district. When I say police visibility, we have to understand that in terms of the numbers of police personnel deployed or stationed to work in the Sandema District Police Command, which stretches from the Bulsa North District and includes the Bulsa South District, then you would understand why there's probably an upsurge in crime. Previously, we used to have 3 operational vehicles at the disposal of the Sandema District Police Command. Now we can boast of only 1. So you can imagine that actually derails the effort of the police to make themselves visible and accessible to the general public and the process curb the commission of crime. That is the first factor. Secondly, I think that it's a nationwide crisis. It's a nationwide crisis. The police itself is grappling with a problem whereby people who are gifted in terms of police operation have been pushed into the background. That is a fact we cannot run away from. And so, right from the national headquarters, the regional level to the district level, we are grappling with that issue. So,
Mr. Agalga, just explain to that. Mr. Agalga, explain that to us a bit, because I don't quite understand what you're getting at.
Yes,
are you saying that there are people
I'm making is that we have some individuals in the police hierarchy, the command, who are gifted in terms of operation. Today, the overwhelming majority of them have simply been swept or kept in positions where they are very distant or remote from police operation. I can give you numerous examples. I mean, in the past, we had crack police commanders like the likes of Kofi Boache, the likes of Christian Yohunu, who in the past received awards for the effort they put in terms of police operations and the results they achieved. Today, all these individuals are still in the police service, but they are not being used.
So you're saying that these people have the operational expertise, and yet they've been pushed, they've been sidelined. Absolutely. And that is what is accounting for the increasing crime rate you're seeing? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, across the country, across the length and breadth of the country. The third factor is that I think that the police are simply not motivated to want to make sacrifices that they made in the past. They are not motivated well enough. And I'll give you an example. You have the police who come out and work under very harrowing conditions. And yet, at some point, they were simply threatened with a withdrawal from the captivity pension scheme. We raised the red flags at the time. A cabinet decision was taken to that effect, and that decision was communicated by the Deputy Minister for Employment. He openly declared that the police would be migrated from the captivity pension scheme onto the state pension scheme. When we raised red flags, we were given the assurance. The Interior Minister came out and rubbished our claims at the time. Then followed by the information minister, who then gave the assurance that nothing of the sort was going to happen and that an amendment was going to be introduced. However, as we speak, Parliament has risen. Parliament would only reconvene for its own dissolution. That amendment was never brought before Parliament for consideration. So clearly, when we expressed worries about the way and manner the police were being treated, and government came out and rubbished our claim, today we have been vindicated. So morale amongst the police, has been dampened. It is at its lowest.
We'll come back to you, Mr. Agalga, but we've been joined on the line by James Maurice Abakisi. He's the NPP's parliamentary candidate. Interesting that you both share the same name, James. But Mr. Abakisi, thank you for your time. Can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Abakisi.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. So Mr. Agalga points to 3 reasons he thinks there's a surge in crime in the Upper East region and in Sandema particularly, and generally across the country. He points to lack of morale within the police service. He points to people with expertise who've been pushed aside. He also points to the fact that the police service is ill-resourced. What, in your opinion, accounts for the surge in the crime rate there?
Well, thank you, Araba, for your time. Thanks for having me. I think that the crime rate has not begun today. It began several years ago. I think in 2013-14, thereabout, we have had robberies in one town we call Fumbisi, that's Bulsa South. It was daytime robberies. And then along the road, from Fumbisi to Sandema, it's a market town, and the robberies continued thereabout. There was one time somebody was even killed along that. So it didn't actually start today. And talking about police morale, I think let's bring it down to our own setting. What has happened over time to address this issue? Basically, I think that is when the MPP came that they resourced the police with a vehicle, with the police, a new police station. Another one is being built at Pichuga. I think that's where our MP comes from. And I think that looking at resourcing the police, I think it's a factor. It has been bad over time, right? But now I think MPP has given them a vehicle. They are building a new police post. They are putting up another one. And we ourselves, what are we doing on the ground here? From Sandema to Chuchuga, we've been having robberies along that side. And I think that what we needed to do is just to help the police to establish some posts so that they can patrol, resource them with some vehicles, maybe perhaps motorbikes and so on. I think over time these things are not happening. That's why we are having a surge in crime. And I also think that we also need to step up some education of our citizens to give them basic tips in security.
Okay.
And then encourage them to help the police with information. So we have the miscreants, the criminals, and so on. They are living with us. The last time we've had a robbery in a certain church, they were able to identify some of the people. And I think the police, they are doing so well in with regards to that case. So I think that we ourselves also need to partake in the security arrangement of our setting.
Right. Okay. So let's get to the issue of security ahead of the polls. Now, we understand that within the Upper East region alone, there are about 345 hotspots. That's what the police has identified. 345 hotspots in the Upper East region alone. And with the police being so ill-resourced, how is that going to... what effect would that have on the elections coming up?
Well, I don't think we are trying to link the robbery cases to the election. I think these are two independent issues.
No. I'm talking about the fact that the police has identified 345 hotspots within the Upper East region alone. I'm not sure if Sandema is one of them, but I'm talking about as we have less than 2 weeks, or about 2 weeks, 17 days to the election. So I'm asking about whether the assurances that the police service has given you ahead of, the election, you're comfortable with that. Are you comfortable with the security situation ahead of the polls on December 7?
Yes, well, thank you very much. I can't talk for the whole of I can talk for Bulsa North constituency.
Right.
For the Bulsa North constituency, I think both of us have committed ourselves to a peaceful election. So far, it's been good. I think my colleague, is doing a gentle campaign. He's not using any rough language. It is the same with me. And I think that it is going down well with our people. And we've managed to contain our people. We've not had any incidences, electoral-related incidences so far. And the police have organized a number of peace sessions with us, and we've pledged our commitment to peace and so on. So we have contain our supporters up to now, so I don't foresee anything happening. Okay. And we are cooperating with the police. Let me put that same question to Mr.
Agalga. Let me put that same question to Mr. Agalga. Mr. Agalga, are you satisfied with the security measures put in place ahead of the elections?
Yes, Araba. First of all, I want to make a quick response to what my colleague said in his earlier remarks, that they have done a lot in terms of resourcing the police. He says they brought a brand new police vehicle. But let me remind him that before MDP came to power, we had 3 operational vehicles that were in use. Those vehicles have since broken down. So they ought to have replaced the 3 broken down vehicles so the police can be accessible and visible. Now we can boast of only 1. The other police station he talked about in Sandema is incomplete. And the Vice President's presentation, in terms of their performance and this tracking, he stated that the Sandema police station was complete and that it was a 1-story structure. That is not true. It is a 1-story structure. Only the ground floor is complete. It's not in use because it is incomplete. The police station in Chuchuluga, the match talked about police station in Chuchuluga, it's not even at foundation level. It's not even at foundation level. 2 police posts were constructed, one in Chuchuluga and the other one in Wiaga by SIC. Since 2016, they have refused to commission them for use. So all these things have gone a long way to hamper, the police's own ability to be accessible and visible. So we need to come clear on that. But having said that, Araba, I would corroborate what my good friend and brother has said, that the police have held a number of peace debates, and both of us took part in the deliberation. We're all committed to peace, and we're hoping that the police will live up to expectations on election day.
Right.
But having said that, I think that we need to up our game in terms of educating people on electoral malpractices, possible crimes that can be committed on the day of election. I think at our level, the NCCE has done its part. The EC has also done its part. But we need to move beyond what is happening at our own level and begin to ask ourselves whether at the national level we are prepared to allow the security personnel to do a professional job on election day.
All right.
I have always maintained that. What happened at Ayawasu West Wagon by-election, where people who were not members of any of our security agencies got dressed up in khaki uniforms and were given firearms.
All right.
And actually,
many thanks. That's James Agalga. He's MP for Bulsa North. He's the MDC